Hello and welcome to the Money Marketing Podcast, and welcome to this special series of weekend essay podcasts. Join us as we delve into the personal narratives of our editorial team, exploring the intersection of life experiences and financial advice. From triumphs to setbacks, each episode offers a candid glimpse into the journeys that shape our perspectives on money management. Get ready to uncover the human side of finance as we share our stories, insights, and lessons learned along the way. Welcome to the Weekend Essays on the Money Marketing Podcast.
For as long as I can remember, I've had issues with sleep. As a child, I suffered from insomnia. Often I wouldn't fall asleep until 2 a.m. and would have to get up at 7 a.m. for school. It was a source of great anxiety and inconvenience for me. I had a sleepwalking and sleep-talking phase, which lasted a lot longer than it should have. My mum loves to tell the story of the time that when I was about 10 years old, I terrified her by looming over her bed and telling her I couldn't get the sleeves off my chair. I still have absolutely no idea what that means. She also loves to tell me about the time she caught me trying to sneak 6 packets of mini cheddars up to my room post-midnight, an event of which I have absolutely no recollection. I used to feel sleepy and fall asleep in class at school, and would often get told off for not paying attention. At university, I would continue making notes as I had a microsleep attack, which is falling asleep for a few seconds. Some of the notes I made while asleep were fascinating. I often joke that I can fall asleep anywhere except bed at bedtime. Only it's not a joke. I've nodded off in an open-top bus on the motorway, a speeding speedboat, standing on the tube, and in the pub. You name it, I've probably slept there. But 11 p.m. at night in my comfortable bed? No chance. I never used to know exactly what it was. I thought maybe I was just lazy or that I just had insomnia. Obviously, I'd heard of narcolepsy, but I thought it was people dropping off while mid-sentence or while standing up. And I've never done that, apart from on the tube. More recently, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we somehow got on to sleep. She said she'd been reading about narcolepsy and described the exact symptoms I suffer from. Excessive daytime sleepiness, suddenly going weak when something makes you laugh or makes you angry, and perhaps the most frightening, sleep paralysis, where you can't move or speak but you are conscious. This is often accompanied by vivid hallucinations. Narcolepsy is a rare long-term brain condition where the brain is unable to regulate sleeping and waking patterns normally, resulting in some or all of these symptoms. Well, I have every symptom. So I made an appointment with the doctor, and 18 months later, I now have my formal diagnosis. It's nice to have the confirmation that I'm not just lazy. Knowing what you have is always better because it gives you a better chance of controlling it. Narcolepsy is not life-threatening, but it is chronic. There's no cure, and I might have to take medication for the rest of my life, which I'm not thrilled about. As well as taking medication, the advice is to try and establish a routine of regular going to bed and waking up times. Well, that will be an issue for me because I've never been one for routines, and it's difficult to establish one anyway with my job. The doctor has also suggested eating healthily, which I mostly already do, not drinking alcohol, well that's a hard pass, and exercising regularly. I do remember 5 years ago when I was super fit and the symptoms did subside, so I will definitely be trying to follow that advice. Given this diagnosis, I'm now going to have to pay for a prescription for, I think you pronounce it modafinil, for the rest of my life. And my car insurance will almost definitely go up as a result of having to tell my insurer. I've managed not to let narcolepsy affect my work life too much by taking naps at lunchtime when working from home and just drinking a lot of coffee to get through in the office. The thing the diagnosis has really shown me is the plight of those with hidden disabilities, and also people's ignorance about, or lack of willingness to accept their own situation. Narcolepsy is technically classed as a disability in the UK, but the severity of symptoms varies widely. I'm perfectly able to walk that bit further to the supermarket from the car park, for example, so I would never even consider applying for a blue badge, and I wouldn't get one even if I did. Before getting my diagnosis and reading about narcolepsy, I would never have even considered myself to have a disability or a vulnerability. Quite the opposite. In my head, I'm very robust. But narcolepsy can have a massive impact on your life. People often think you're just lazy or being rude. I've definitely experienced this. And it can make you feel isolated and depressed. Studies have shown a high prevalence rate of depression among people with narcolepsy. In fact, a 2020 meta-analysis of 31 prior studies carried out in the US found that people with narcolepsy have depression or depression symptoms at a rate of 32%. And this is almost 4 times the rate of depression that the CDC estimates in the general population of the US. The illness is often depicted as a joke in the media and in entertainment, and there are many misconceptions around it, like me thinking it was people just falling asleep while walking along. And this prevents many people from getting diagnosed, but it is estimated to affect about 30,000 people in the UK. And it's physically exhausting, especially the hallucinations and the waking nightmares. Many of you will know I'm constantly going out and socialising at events, and I'm often asked by colleagues and peers how I have so much energy. The answer is, and my close family and friends will attest to this, I'm dead on my feet the rest of the time. Although most of the symptoms of narcolepsy are unlikely to get worse with age, cataplexy, that's the going weak when I laugh thing, can get much worse and can result in severe disability if not properly controlled. And I've read that the condition often leads to, in later life, to an inability to work and therefore early retirement. This is something which, based on my current trajectory, I definitely can't afford. If there's one lesson for financial advisors, it's that you never know what conditions people have hiding under the surface. Anyone can have vulnerabilities, even me.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of our weekend essay series. We do hope that you enjoyed it. Please do keep up to date with all our new releases via Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts from. You can also keep up to date with all our new content published on the Money Marketing website, as well as our print edition Money Marketing magazine, so make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. See you next time.